He stood in the driveway like a hired guard, arms crossed, jaw locked tight. You weren't invited. Go home, her father said, cold and final. Behind him, framed in the golden glow of the dining room window, I saw them. My wife, her sister, her mother, and her ex-husband. Laughing like old times, plates piled high, glasses raised in celebration, like I was already a memory they'd erased from the frame. I held her father's stare a second longer than I should have. Then I gave a small nod, said nothing, and walked back to my car. I made one quick call, just one. 20 minutes later, my phone lit up, and then came the screaming. 2 years ago. I married into that family. I should have known better. At first, they welcomed me with those soft, practiced smiles. Her father shook my hand at the wedding and said, "You're one of us now." I believed it. They weren't rich, not by the usual standards. But old money whispers in towns like this. It moves through property lines, inherited business contracts, and companies that somehow never close their doors. The family ran a chain of local construction firms. My wife handled the books. Her father signed the deals. Her ex he consulted. And me? I was the outsider who brought in 6 new contracts within the first year. I took their aging business and made it something worth watching again. I worked late nights, ate cold dinners alone, and told myself I was building a future for us for her. But the truth is, I was just a tool, a stepping stone. It started small. A text I wasn't meant to see sent from her sister. "Let him handle it, babe. He's good for that. Handle what?" That was the crack. I started looking deeper. I saw bank account transfers that didn't make sense, invoices that went missing. Projects I secured were suddenly credited to her ex, deals marked with my signature except I'd never signed them. Then came the final blow. A mortgage on a property under my name one I'd never even seen. I asked her about it. Calm and measured, she laughed in my face, said I must have forgotten signing it, that I was overworked. That's when something inside me went quiet. I didn't raise my voice, didn't fight. I watched, waited. I started digging, tracing every transfer, every contract, every forged signature. I made copies, backed up emails from the shared server, screened calls. Quietly, obsessively, I spent 3 months building a timeline. And then I had it. Enough evidence to bury them in audits, lawsuits, hell, maybe even jail time. Every deal they'd stolen had been funneled through her ex's shell company. On paper, I wasn't complicit, I was the victim. And that part, at least, was true. Thanksgiving was my litmus test. I asked her 3 times if I should bring wine, dessert, anything. She said, "Of course, it's family." But when I arrived, her father was already in the driveway, standing like a wall between me and the front door, like he'd been waiting. And behind him through that window I saw her, my wife, laughing with the man I'd unknowingly made rich, the man I'd unknowingly partnered with on deal after deal. That's when it hit me. I wasn't even the punchline, I was the foundation. They built the joke on. So I made the call. A friend, not a lawyer exactly, but someone who handles situations, corporate ones. In 20 minutes, cease and desist letters hit every board member, investor, and client tied to their company. Accounts were frozen, audits were triggered, investigators dispatched. But that wasn't the screaming part. No, the screaming came when the black SUVs rolled into the driveway, right in the middle of their Thanksgiving toast. I watched from the shadows at the end of the street as it all unraveled with brutal elegance. Her father turned pale and tried to bluff his way through it. Her mother burst into tears before the agents even reached the door. Her sister started screaming at her. My wife, because all the fraudulent emails traced back to her laptop. And her ex, he bolted, ran straight through the backyard like a thief. They caught him 3 blocks away. Turns out, jumping bail on a prior fraud case has a way of catching up with you. I left before they saw me. I didn't need the apology, didn't need the chaos. By Monday, I had the paperwork filed, divorce, asset claim, fraud settlement. The company collapsed. They lost everything. I walked away clean. People asked me why I didn't warn her, why I didn't give her a chance to explain. Explain what? That I was a placeholder, a workhorse they could bleed dry and discard? That I was never family, just a signature attached to a steady pulse? No. I gave them exactly what they gave me: silence, a smile, and a door they never saw closing behind them. I heard she moved back in with her parents. Her father's company is filing bankruptcy. Her ex is awaiting trial. And me? I took my contracts, my clients, and built something better, something real, without them. Without her. Funny thing about betrayal, it teaches you where the real power lives, not in screaming, not in fighting, but in walking away and letting the trap slam shut behind you.